I really need to stock up on some hand sanitizer. I need to wear a mask every day, and I do not like wearing masks, so I don't know how that's gonna go with my outfit. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Nadine Speaks. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you've never seen this face before, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Nice to meet you. My name is Nadine, and today I wanted to do something a little bit different on my channel, and that is talk about something that we've been seeing in the headlines lately. Yes, we've been seeing coronavirus, China, spreads, pandemic, fear, and I just wanted to talk about, should we actually be worried that this virus is spreading? Is this the new zombie apocalypse? Are we doomed to get infected and the human race is no longer? So scary, right? I mean, that's kind of how it feels watching the news. I don't know if you've turned on the TV, but that's all that I see on the news lately. And I wanted to figure out for myself if, one, should I be worried that I'm actually gonna get the virus? How am I gonna get the virus? And do I actually need to go grab all the disinfectant and face masks to ensure that I do not die of coronavirus? So, as you may have seen in my previous video, if you haven't seen it, go click on it. Hint, hint. But I got my master's in public health, so public health is something that I'm very passionate about, and one of the things in public health is epidemiology. That's studying how diseases spread. And a big thing about epidemiology are disease outbreaks and how to respond to disease outbreaks. I wanted to start by going over kind of what a virus is, what a pandemic is, and kind of unpacking where this all started and where we are now. So the date right now is March 2nd, 2020, and that's important because all the facts I'm going to tell you are as of today, March 2nd, 2020. Yes, things change. I urge you to go to the CDC website. Every country has their own CDC. You can also look at China's CDC to get live updates from them, and also WHO, so the World Health Organization. That is very important because it is the way that they spread news globally about what's happening in the disease around the world as a whole. And they have live statistics and kind of what those statistics mean, so you're not just being thrown numbers by the news, hashtag fake news, am I right? And you actually know what they're talking about when they talk about fatality rate, pandemic, or how actually you can get it and how it's spread. So maybe you've been wondering, what actually is a virus? Now, there's debate in the scientific community whether a virus is living or not because they don't require the necessary machinery to replicate. All a virus is a protein sac, usually called a capsid, with RNA or DNA inside. And DNA is double-stranded genetic material and RNA is single-stranded genetic material. So a virus, in order to actually live, needs somebody else's cells. That can be either an animal, a bacteria, or us as a host. And I know we are the hostess with the mostest, but viruses actually need a host cell in order to survive, in order to replicate their DNA. And I'm sure, as you know, if you cease to replicate, you cease to exist. That is why things go extinct. So where did the coronavirus all start? Well, even the name coronavirus is kind of misleading, right? Because we have seen coronaviruses before. Actually, in early 2000s, there was an outbreak of a strain of coronavirus as well. There's this other coronavirus that I think you've heard before called SARS. If you haven't, go look it up because it's actually very informative so that you're not scared of, oh my God, coronavirus. The particular strain that we have seen and that is causing the outbreak that started in Wuhan City, China, that's right. So whenever we see a new outbreak of a virus, it has to come from somewhere. And this particular strain started in a live animal market in Wuhan City. Since there's many ways to get a virus, you could eat an animal that's infected, you could touch a surface that's been infected with somebody's germs or the virus, somebody could cough on you, somebody could sneeze on you. All you need is to somehow get in contact with some kind of material that has the virus intact. Once the virus is ingested or in your system, there are many things that could happen. First of all, you could not even get the virus. It could go through your whole body and it could just come out and you can just be considered a host. That's what they call, oh, I'm just a host for a virus. Or you could ingest the virus and the virus can start replicating in your body. And now, how does it replicate in your body? Well, viruses are really smart and they latch onto your cell and just inject their genetic material into your cell. And when your cells start replicating, they start replicating. They're very, very sneaky like that. But that's why vaccines are really important, because vaccines allow your body, your cells to recognize the genetic material before you're even infected, so that your immune cells can be like, oh, I remember this ish before. I got it. I got the necessary equipment to tear this sucker down. I know. Let me know if you like how I explain things, but this is how I think about it in my mind. So once you contract a virus and it starts replicating in your body, you see yourself getting weaker and having these symptoms. Now, the reason that we have all these symptoms like coughing and sneezing and all this mucus building up, our body is trying to get rid of this thing. We see a spike in fever because our body is trying to make it an unsuitable environment as a host to the virus. We're like, virus, get the fuck out. Our body does not want you, and we're gonna make it so uninhabitable, even if it causes detriments to ourselves. Like, I get tired, I get malaise all over. Oh my gosh, give me a like and a comment down below if you've ever gotten the flu and just felt like you were gonna die. Like, malaise all over, because your body is literally making it unsuitable for this virus to live. They don't want to make it like a nice beachy town or a nice place to chill for vacation. They want that virus to get the fuck out as soon as possible. Am I right? So it all started in, so let's get back on track. This virus, somebody contracted it, somebody in that little province of China. They actually did the whole genomic sequencing of it, and that's when they take the whole genome. They do this thing called RT-PCR, in which they basically find the whole genomic sequence, and that's what they use to do with the testing of coronavirus. So now they actually have test kits that they're testing people with to see if they actually have this particular strain of coronavirus, and they name that strain COVID 2019. They usually tag the year on which the virus is found to not get it complicated with other strains. So after the first person was contracted with coronavirus, we saw a little bit of spread because it was within this particular community. And if you go to the CDC website, they tell you how this particular virus is spread, and they call it community spread, and that means kind of just like the name, that it's spread throughout the community. This particular virus, if you also go to the CDC website, is spread through respiratory molecules. So that's coughing, sneezing, achoo. Yeah, you like my sound effects. Also, if you're sneezing and coughing on surfaces, now you are less likely to get it if you touch a surface, but you are still likely to get it. That's another thing when you're like listening to the news, listen to what they're actually saying. Most likely, less likely, what do these statistics mean? You can't just take everything at face value. It's really good to research yourself and see the information presented to yourself and actually ask yourself, what does this mean? And that's what I had to do, because honestly, I don't know about you guys watching the news, I was particularly scared because I am going to Spain and I'm going to be traveling globally. I wanted to know, do I actually have to wear a face mask throughout this whole process, and am I gonna be scared and paranoid to everyone that's coughing and sneezing on me? So now that I told you a little bit of what a virus is, how it kind of spreads and how it came to be, I wanted to talk about two big words that when we talk about diseases how they spread, these two words get thrown around a lot. So we have epidemic, which I'm sure you've heard. An epidemic just means an increase in the number of cases through a short period of time, and a pandemic in particular means that the disease has spread globally, so worldwide. It's not just in one country anymore, it's gone to several different countries, and even in America, we're seeing that some cases are being diagnosed. So if you're in America now, it's kind of hitting close to home, and I'm sure in America, we are getting even more scared. I've seen All the hand sanitizer is gone, all the masks are gone. In my hospital that I work at, people are grabbing masks like it's candy. I think another important factor when we're talking about the coronavirus is how is it being diagnosed. So we're watching the news, we're seeing all these numbers, deaths, quarantined, but what does it all mean? And do these people really have the coronavirus? That's another thing that actually came to mind when I was thinking about this whole pandemic, is how are they diagnosing this disease since it's new? Well, they do have a test for it. They can test people actually and diagnose if they have the disease or not. But what's really being included in all the numbers, and that's why they've been seeing crazy spikes in the numbers lately, are clinical diagnoses. So if you diagnose someone clinically, that means someone just came into the doctor with these flu-like symptoms. That's why I think it's being misconstrued with the flu, right? Because some of these people could actually have the flu and not have coronavirus. We don't know, but they just go to a doctor and they're like, boom, 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 you have all these symptoms, you have the coronavirus. All right, another one, let's tally it up, another one with coronavirus. So that's something to pay attention to when you're looking at the huge spikes in numbers in regards to coronavirus. All right, so let's talk about the flu versus coronavirus, because I know a lot of people are getting those two misconstrued just because they say the coronavirus has flu-like symptoms. So a big thing when we're comparing viruses is their mortality or fatality or lethality rate. So that means how many people have died compared to the amount of people that have actually contracted the virus. Now, if we're looking at the flu, there's a large number of people that have contracted the flu over the years, right? So the number of deaths compared to the number who have contracted it is very, very low compared to the coronavirus. So the mortality rate for the flu is around 0.4 to 0.6% when we're looking at that. And people who are dying of the coronavirus are at a rate more of 1% compared to all those infected. Now the rate goes up if you stratify it by age, and so that's another thing when you're looking at the people who have died. You also need to see what pre-existing conditions that they had and if they were older. I have a really cool graphic I can put on the screen here, but it basically stratifies the coronavirus deaths by age, and as you can see, the older you get, the more prone you are to die of the virus. Most of the people that have died are the elderly, so those people over 80 or even over 70. The people who are over 80 make up 14% of the deaths, so we see an increase in deaths as you increase in age. Another thing that can cause death from the coronavirus is people who are immunodeficient, and that means people who don't have strong immune systems to battle the virus. So compared to people that are younger and healthier, they're more prone to defeat the virus because one, they have a better immune system, and actually younger people tend to have a better immune system than the elderly, as well as someone who is healthy. So take your vitamins, drink your fluids, vitamin C, get emergency, boost your immune system so that even if you do contract the virus, you have a higher chance of defeating it. So I was looking at the CDC website just to see, like, should I actually be worried, especially me living in America? I don't know if you're living in China now, maybe you should be more worried, but the CDC did a risk assessment. A risk assessment is when there's an outbreak of a disease, they take an assessment of the severity of where you're located. I urge you to go to the CDC website and the WHO website again, because you can look for yourself. I'm not just gonna tell you through a screen, and actually you should never believe anybody through a screen. That has to do with media or even the articles that are posted, because there's so much misinformation. I cannot stress that enough. And also the CDC and the WHO websites are being updated daily to keep everyone more informed. It's kind of scary when you have these people reporting and you don't know what kind of bias they have, and it kind of sometimes to me seems like fear-mongering. I don't feel that worried. Let me know down below if you're worried. I always say, do not be afraid, be aware. And that's what's always running through my head whenever I kind of do feel scared from the media, because I'm not gonna lie, watching the news, I felt kind of scared, y'all. I was like, man, I really need to stock up on some hand sanitizer. I need to wear a mask every day, and I do not like wearing masks, so I don't know how that's gonna go with my outfit. But, you know, I have to stay healthy and make sure a virus does not spread. Sorry, I went on that little rant about the media and fear, but the CDC did a risk assessment. They actually concluded that there is a low risk in America for the American public to contract the disease. There is a very low risk of not getting the disease if you do not come in contact with anybody. It's hard to tell when you're just walking around if someone has the virus or not, but be aware and alert of your surroundings. Make sure that nobody's coughing on you or sneezing on you, or somebody's bodily fluids are coming onto you. If you have any questions, I will be responding to the comments down below. This is just my little update of the coronavirus and if we should actually be worried. I really don't think so. If I'm actually about to go to Spain in a bit, and I was kind of getting scared because I was like, oh no, there's so many people in the airport, so many people I could potentially come in contact with from all over the world. What is a girl to do? But I'm not gonna let a mere virus stop me from living my best life and traveling across the globe, and I don't think you should either. I don't think you should isolate yourself at home, but I do think you should be smart and take the necessary actions, like washing your hands. And you know that you should wash your hands anyways, right? It's so funny because it's like the things that they are telling us are things that you should be doing anyways, not just when there's a disease outbreak. Don't be afraid, stay woke, stay alert, and read the actual CDC and WHO facts. Don't rely on any other news source except the ones that are actually doing the science. Thank you for watching my little rant on coronavirus and if we should actually be worried. Let me know your thoughts below, and if you want me to do more of these kinds of videos debunking health myths. Alright guys, thank you and see you at my next video. Bye!